Everybody, this is Michael from Maximum Threshold and In the Pit Radio, and I'm here with Tim Sult from the almighty Clutch.
What's up?
Now, I know I don't look like a typical Clutch fan. I don't got the beard, can't grow it, plus nobody looks tough with a ginger beard, but how's the tour going so far?
The tour's been going great. We did about a month or so in Europe, took a couple weeks off, and we're doing our annual Christmas run now.
Yes, and luckily, you're one of the bands that always comes to Cleveland at least once or twice a year. Thank you.
Hey, thank Cleveland.
You're in a more of a rock venue than the House of Blues. This is a little more sterile. This is a little more rock and roll.
That's what they say. That's what they say about the Agora here.
It's like twice the size.
And it's been around forever. Everyone's played here. Yeah.
So, the new album, it's Dynamite, of course. It's a Clutch album. How could it not be, right?
Well, thank you.
Now, I noticed, because I told you I'm a huge fan, it's almost a continuation of Earth Rocker, but it also is taking it out further in every avenue almost that you've explored with Earth Rocker. You kind of went out even further, but it's still Clutch in the core of it. Is there ever any ideas that you have that you're like almost don't want to do because your fans are so diehard that they might be like, this isn't Clutch?
No, not necessarily. I would think that we probably did kind of hit that territory with the song Our Lady of Electric Light on this album. Because I mean, when we wrote that song, we felt like, a lot of our fans might love it and a lot of our fans might seriously hate it. So we've never really felt any kind of fear of taking a risk. Because we feel like if we like the song, that, a good portion of our fans will enjoy it too.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, every song is Clutch. Like, it may have a little different flavor to it, but it's still Clutch, which is amazing because you guys have been around for a long time, but you still have a freshness to the new music.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's really been our point as far as songwriting goes ever since the beginning, to try to not write the same song over and over again. I mean, you could say that, songs off Transnational Speedway League also, are kind of, it's not the same thing over and over again with us. At least we try to not write the same song over and over again and try to explore different ideas.
Yes. And so, how does it go, like, because you guys are on the road a lot. You guys are always, it's amazing that I can go anywhere. Not just here. I could go to any city and I'm going to see somebody with a Clutch shirt or a Clutch hat. And you guys have touched a nerve with, like, I don't want to say necessarily the blue collar, but you definitely have your nose to the grindstone. You're always working. I don't think I've ever, like I told you, I'm new to Clutch, maybe 10, 11 years. But I don't think I've ever seen when you guys have taken an extended period off.
We have never taken an extended break ever, no.
But you've remained fresh, and there seems to be a tight bond between you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really the fact that we've always continued to move forward and continue to write new songs, We've never, we could have easily come to the conclusion that every one of our songs needs to sound like a Shogun named Marcus. Our single from our first album that got played on Headbangers Ball back then. We could have easily made that decision just to keep writing the same songs over and over again. But, we went on tour and, it's really just the fact that we continue to move forward, continue to book more shows in the future where we could have easily stopped, Back in the days where we weren't making a lot of money, we could have just easily stopped and gotten real jobs, and we wouldn't be here right now. But for some reason, and I'm not 100% sure why, we've all been on the same page as far as music, moving forward artistically, and as a business as well. We've been independent, putting out our own stuff since 2008, so that has definitely really helped to keep things fresh and to keep us inspired as far as songwriting goes.
And it probably also helps in this day and age with a lot of people just downloading music, and being independent probably helps, because I've noticed personally, like, most people I know that are Clutch fans will buy the albums anyways. They'll buy the concert tickets because you guys actually duplicate and expand on what you put on record. You're not, there's not a bunch of tapes. You guys can play. You're all very talented musicians.
Well, thank you.
So I think that touches people, as opposed to like some rap music and pop music and even some rock bands that just they can put out a great record, great sounding record, but live it's like farting in a jar.
Yeah, true. I think, at least with Psychic Warfare, for me, guitar-wise, it's by far the most realistic album as far as what I'm going to play live. Whereas a lot of the older stuff, there's a lot of impossible overdubs, so there's sometimes stuff missing from the recorded tracks. But with Psychic Warfare, that was the one that, even though it's not recorded live, I think the guitar tracks really lend itself to something I can play and enjoy playing live, and nothing's missing.
Yeah.
I forget your original question.
Oh, doesn't matter.
Okay.
So, oh god, I forgot what I was gonna say. As far as like musically, when you started, I read, like, when you first started playing guitar, I read that you're of the age of the hair, like some of the hair metal stuff.
Yeah, yep.
I'm going to go back to a hair metal question in a few minutes, but when you first started playing guitar, who was your guy? Who was, like, I know everybody gravitates towards, like, Page or Hendrix or Eric Clapton or Tony Iommi or, like, one of the Schenker brothers or Yuli John Roth. I don't even know if I said his name right, but who was your guy?
I mean, at the very beginning, probably Randy Rhoads was my favorite guitar player back when I was, 14, 15 years old.
Yeah. And so, who would you say was the best replacement for Randy? Like, whose style? After Randy passed, of course, it's unfortunate, but who do you think, for Ozzy's band, who was your favorite guitar player after him?
Well, I mean, for the songs themselves, I would go with Jakey Lee. Because I'm an older guy, and that's what I listen to. I never really. I was older when, Zakk Wylde was in the band, and I was already in Clutch, and I was going on tour, and I wasn't really paying attention to Ozzy that much. Obviously, the Zakk Wylde stuff, looking back on it now, it's absolutely incredible. But, back then, it's just the fact of my age, the early stuff touched me more because I was, 14 to 17 years old.
Finally, I have validation from Tim Sult, from Clutch, that Jakey Lee, because he was my favorite after Randy Rhoads.
And for me, it's just the fact that it's the older stuff, and that's what I listened to, and those are the shows that I went to. I went to the, what was it, the Ultimate Sin tour, so...
Way back then, when you first started and you were young and it was like that hair metal, the big rock. I know not, like, a lot of bands got lumped into that hair metal thing because of the way they looked and the record companies presented them. What if there was one band way back then, way before Clutch, that you, like, one band that you wanted to be in, like when you first started, that you're like, oh, I can be in this band someday?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I wasn't really into hair metal as much. I was into, like, the first Rat album, the first Motley Crue album, and, old Ozzy and Iron Maiden especially.
Ozzy always gets a pass from the hair metal, but he was, like, big hair, makeup. But I guess because he's Ozzy, he's Ozzy. He can do whatever he wants,
Yeah, and I think he had good songs, so that's really what counts,
Yeah, and there's a lot of good music from any era. It's not what gets presented to you and shoved down your throat. You guys are a prime example of that. I mean, all the crap that everybody gets thrown down their throat. Like I've been lucky enough to see you guys at a few festivals, and there's like the big headliners. You guys are playing like at 5 in the afternoon and just destroy. And not only destroy, I'm looking forward to seeing Clutch. And I'm like, okay, they're starting at 5:45. I got 10 minutes to walk over there. You guys start 5 minutes early. No like attitude, no diva. You're just like, hey, if we start a few minutes early, we might get an extra song. And you guys just destroy the place, and bam. It's like, it's like I don't even need to see the rest. I'll tell you what, it was Rock on the Range. You guys played the Jaeger stage.
Mm-hmm.
I the whole weekend, that stage was like maybe like a quarter of the people there. Everybody was there to see you guys.
Yeah, that was a pretty fun show.
And then you guys were just like, bam. And then the crowd just dissipated afterwards. It's like...
They announced Rock on the Range for this year, right?
What's that?
They already announced all the artists.
Yes, you guys are on it.
Yeah.
I think there's like maybe 5 bands I'm going to go see, and you guys are one of them, of course.
I wonder what stage we'll be on this year. Maybe we'll get inside of the stadium this time.
Yeah. Well, you know what, though? I think the intimacy of it is so much... It's more Clutch.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
Although... On the big stage wouldn't be bad because it's more general admission. And your what do they call them, the gearheads?
Yeah.
We can all get up front and rock out, and then all the people who are for like Avenged Sevenfold and My Bloody Valentine and whatever can sit in the back and drink their monsters and whatever. But I like that you guys, because you said you guys are independent and you do everything yourselves, like as far as the business wise. That you guys go and you headline instead of going on like the big arena tours, opening and playing, like having to pick like 6 or 7 songs. Is that a conscious decision, or do like bands just not ask you because you blow them off the stage?
I don't know if it's really that they don't ask us because we'll blow them off the stage. It's that there's really not a huge amount of rock bands out there that are bigger than us that we can open for. There's a lot of stuff out there, but it's more mainstream, and they have no interest in us opening for them.
Yeah,
but I mean, we're always open for opening for bigger bands.
Yeah,
we love doing that.
Metallica, you guys can show them how it's done.
Well, actually, I would say when we toured with Volbeat in Europe, we opened up for Volbeat over in Europe, and it actually ended up being the biggest tour we've ever done as far as crowd sizes go. And that definitely really, really, really helped for us as far as us going back over to Europe and having awesome headlining shows. Mm-hmm. That's when it really started, when Europe really started to be good for us once we opened for Volbeat. So, we're always opening for other bands.
Yeah.
But there's just not a huge amount of bands out there.
Yeah, there's not a lot of bands that are playing like the 15 to 20,000 seat arenas. Mm-hmm. I mean, because I don't know, I've seen you guys at some like places like House of Blues, 10, 1,100 people.
Mm-hmm.
Like the House of Blues in Cleveland is a little smaller, so it's like maybe 1,200 people or something.
I think it's 1,200.
But I've seen you like at the festivals. I've seen you at bigger places in Pittsburgh,
mm-hmm.
and I've seen you in bigger places here and there. And like now, this is like twice the size, and you still sold it out, just as pretty much just as quick. So, like you said, there's like for you guys to like maybe play a half hour to open for Judas Priest. I mean, but you guys, like I said, you guys are selling the stuff out. I love Judas Priest. That's from that era. But it's almost sad they played like the huge venue here, and it was like maybe out of 19,000 seats, maybe like 4,000 people. It was almost sad.
When they played with Mastodon just recently?
No, it was a few years ago. It was like Thin Lizzy and Black Label.
Oh, okay, I remember that. Yeah.
It was like, but like, it was like that like something like that. I'd almost be like, it won't. I'd hate to see you guys play like a half hour like that. I'd rather see you guys play a full set and just blow the doors off of everybody everywhere. Because I've never seen you guys play anywhere. And I'm not just saying this because you're right here, because I would tell you, truthfully, which I am. I've never seen you guys that you didn't just wreck the place.
Awesome,
Like,
thank you.
I mean, I know you said there's stuff that you can't play live, because of the overdubs. I don't think anybody notices but you, because everybody just gets so into the music. It's almost like a communal thing. Like I love that you guys are playing a bigger place now. I'd hate for you guys to play like a huge arena, because I feel like then what's mine is going to everyone else. But at the same time, I want you guys to do, because I want you to be even more successful. But then once you get super huge, maybe then the camaraderie between them, you guys will be traveling in your own buses, and
We haven't gotten to that point yet. Maybe before that we'll get a light guy.
Like, yeah, you guys don't need the bells and whistles. You just bring it musically, So speaking of music, where can everybody find the tour info, buy merchandise, buy the album other than iTunes? So more money goes right to you guys, because you are independent and running yourselves. Where can everybody find all Clutch info?
On our Facebook page mostly, and our main website is called prorock.com. The Clutch Facebook is pretty easy to find.
Yeah. I told you I'd ask at least one legitimate question.
That's cool.
So,
did they do the Judas Priest Mastodon show here at the Agora? No. Okay.
I'm trying to think. That didn't come to Cleveland.
Okay.
They did the Gund Arena, which is where the Cavs play, with Thin Lizzy and Black Label. Thin Lizzy actually opened, which I guess all things considered would be. But there's a lot of places that don't like Motorhead toured over the summer. They didn't come here.
I don't think we came here with Motorhead either.
Yeah, because I went to Detroit to a similar size arena or venue and saw them with Anthrax and Crowbot, and King Diamond didn't come here and went to Detroit. I know a lot of it's logistics. Like you could probably speak on this a little bit. When you don't play a certain city on a tour, it's not personal against the city most of the time, is it?
Oh, of course not. It's never personal against the city.
Okay, because some people think it is personal.
Right.
Like, people don't understand the logistics, and like, you can't play Sheboygan and then go here and then come back and circle around. It's never personal. I mean, I'm sure at some point there was some place where you're like, I'm never playing this fucking place again, right?
For us?
Not necessarily the city, a club.
Not necessarily, no. We've never really been like that.
Well, I mean, like, not because you guys think you're above it, because someone like treated you or one of the guys in your crew, or say your wife or girlfriend at the time, now it's your wife, I see you have a wedding ring. Maybe someone disrespected somebody in the crew, so you're like, then it's personal. It's never the city, though, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's definitely never the city.
Other than
we've never really had problems like that.
Except for Pittsburgh. You don't want to go to Pittsburgh. All them fucking Steeler fans. Well, they're here too. So I know you do some other projects too, like you Lionize. Did I say that right?
Yeah, I haven't done that for a couple years though.
But I know you never let it get in the way of Clutch, but it's nice that all you guys can do your own little thing and still do things together. Because you all realize that this is your baby. Like, all the other stuff is just like, I don't want to say a hobby, but it's a release outside.
It's more for fun. Yeah, basically it is a hobby.
And
this is just a hobby gone wild.
But nobody gets like nobody gets like, oh, you should save that for Clutch, or this is Clutch time, because you guys all seem to like give each other room to breathe, because it seems like everybody respects this,
Yeah, absolutely.
which, you know, is good, because I've seen a lot of interviews and read a lot of things. It seems like every one of you is down to earth, which helps because you guys have been at it for a long time. Like I told you, I'm new. I'm like 10, 11 years in. You guys are like 20, 25 years in?
I believe it's going to be 25 years this year, yeah.
It doesn't seem like not one. I've never read anything about one blow up, one person in the band having an attitude, ego, or thinking that they're bigger than everybody else.
Right.
Which seems to really help a lot.
Yeah, I mean, we all know that we're all in this together, you know? We're in it equally.
Well, I want to congratulate you. They wouldn't let me bring the trophy in because I told you Psychic Warfare, my top of my list record of the year.
Awesome, thank you.
And Earth Rocker was in 2013. You didn't get one in 2014 because you didn't come out with anything.
We didn't.
But that's okay because I'm still listening to all of it. So I know you got some stuff to do. I want to thank you for your time.
All I'm going to do is eat Chinese food.
Oh, nice. Congratulations.
Cool, awesome. Well, thanks for having me.
All right, thank you, Tim.
Brad.
This is Tim Sult from Clutch, everybody.